three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, we're back. Welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto and MrFOMO. Did I miss anything? Did we miss anything? Last time we checked, Bitcoin was at 29K, right? We missed some stuff. We're here to talk about it. No, we have not been hiding. We're back better than ever. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Super chats are available. If you could please share the show, it'd be greatly appreciated. So, MrFOMO, we did not get a chance to do a show. Unfortunately, family situations came up. But we're back here, and last time we were talking about, can we reclaim 30K? Well, not only did we not reclaim 30, I'm here to, not only do I have egg on my face, I have omelets all over draped. Back 26, and also at one point Thursday, we actually nicked 30.25 very briefly. And you notified me on my phone, and here we are, just holding on to 26K. We're going to talk about why I'm not concerned in the long run at all. In the short term, I'm not changing that much, and I'll explain why, MrFOMO. What's going on? What are your thoughts on the big dump?
First, I think it's wrong to go further than this and not at least address this weird idea that's sort of pervasive on YouTube, is that there's this group of manipulators that sits around like these Bitcoin whales, and they just dump whenever they want. Like they get together in a room and they drink scotch and smoke cigars, and all right, boys, everybody sell at this point. And it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird conspiracy theory, because there is so much evidence out there that proves what it actually was. I mean, first, last week you had Evergrande filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in Manhattan court. So that made a lot of waves. We knew that something like that was coming. They've been in trouble for a long time, but the fact that they finally filed for Chapter 11 protection was a big deal. And so that hit the market pretty hard. You also had the Fed minutes that broke out that said even if they're not going to raise rates, they're definitely not planning to cut rates anytime soon. You had loads of liquidations happening on the futures market. I mean, there's all this evidence out there that just shows you like one thing after another, just sort of cascading events that sent the market into a spiral. But nothing has changed with Bitcoin. It's not like somebody hacked into the system and spent coins from people. So, as far as the fundamentals are concerned, it's still a great.
As the initial dump was happening, just coincidentally, news hit that SpaceX and Elon had sold Bitcoin, but that sell was a while ago, and so that you talk about, there is some conspiracy there that the timing of that. Exactly when the selling started. And I don't think people get in a room, obviously, but I do believe that there were some coordinated longs taken out, over 1 billion longs in less than 24 hours. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, whether it's people calling each other, miners, whales, I do think there was some manipulation. Like, I don't think everyone got into a room and was smoking stogies and drinking whiskey, but I do think there was. I think that there was some organization. I don't think this was just random, right? Because all the news kind of hit at the same time, and that was interesting. We didn't get the ruling also that we talked about last week. That did not happen.
Let me talk about Elon there. What happened was they marked down the value of their Bitcoin. So it wasn't even that they sold. It was that they marked down the value from 2021 to 2022. And that was just to reflect the crash that happened in the market and the value of their BTC that they held falling. It wasn't necessarily a sale. It wasn't, a lot of people were reporting that they sold all of their BTC, or at least SpaceX did. And it's frustrating too, to have that kind of stuff going on in the market. But you're right. That could easily be a coordinated kind of a thing. But I just have a hard time believing that much money can be coordinated that quickly. I think the evidence probably shows that that maybe some of that was going on. You know, we have seen evidence of short squeezes, long squeezes, stuff like that.
That was a dramatic one, though. That was a dramatic one.
Right. And so I don't know, you know, conspiracies are hard to pull off the more people that you bring in on them. So the more noise you start making about a short squeeze, the more people start finding out. And, you know, the more the evidence is out there. And we just haven't really seen anything that showed that.
Now, obviously, a move to 34 is pretty much out of the question here. I'm not going to lie. However, I was never high on September. I thought September was going to be sideways, maybe a little bit of downward action. I'm now looking at October as not saying we're going to get to 35 in October, but at least reclaim 30 by then. And I know that's not a sexy show to talk about reclaiming 30 in the next 4 to 6 weeks, but I think October you could see 30 and a push. You know, I think before Thanksgiving, definitely that 34, 35,000, I think I'm going to be proven right. My timeline's going to be way off. So I'm not going to act like the old Bit Boy by Valentine's. Oh, it's just off by 60 days. No, I was way off, and I have to take accountability for that. Bad job out of me. But
you're starting to sound like me a little bit. You're starting to throw off the chemistry. You're supposed to be the optimist. I'm
optimistic. Right? I still think we could see 40, and this is going to really blow you away because I didn't talk about this pre-show. I still think hitting 40K, not holding at 40K, hitting 40K before January 1st is still in play. Now, am I as confident? No, but I'm definitely confident we're going to retake 30. And some people are like, well, wait a minute, we're waiting for 20. People are out there today saying, I can't wait to buy 20K Bitcoin and Binance is going down. We've heard this before. As soon as people start calling for 20, just watch. And the next month, we're going to be back up to 30. And people will be like, I can't believe I didn't buy at 26K. I think we're going to be in the 25, 26 for a while. Could we go down to 24? Sure. Now, if something crazy happens and Binance goes under, could you see a 20K BTC? It is possible. A lot of the sellers have exhausted, though. Remember, there's a lot of long-term holders. So it really is it's hard to get now. It starts getting harder and harder to get lower and lower. So if you are waiting for 20K BTC, not financial advice, you might want to start DCing in over the next few weeks because I personally don't think you're going to see it. I didn't think we were going to see any type of blimp at 25 but look what happened at 25. It came right back.
Look what it took to send it down there. I mean, you mentioned the Binance stuff that's going on. You know, all of that turmoil in 1 week, sort of like the perfect storm to drag the market down, especially a volatile market like crypto. And so, I could actually see, Bitcoin and crypto bouncing back from this pretty quickly. As long as we don't have more ugliness on the market, as long as the Fed doesn't come out and say, hey, we're gonna raise rates, we're gonna, anything like that. And to be honest, from the news we got today, from what you were telling me, it looks like they're gonna stop raising rates.
Maybe.
And from what I've seen, people are betting that they're actually going to start cutting sometime around February, March, April, which would put us right in line with the halving event. And so there is still an opportunity here. And to be honest with you, when I saw it get down to 25 this week, I bought a few different projects, Bitcoin included, just because I couldn't believe where it was. And I thought to myself, this is an opportunity to buy some cheap Satoshis. I got some XRP, I got some Engine. I bounced around a little bit on the market. But, this was an opportunity. I don't think that this was as much a problem as it was an opportunity. Like I said, the fundamentals haven't changed. It was just an ugly week on the market.
Yeah, and I think what you have to realize is, I'll take the blame for this. Calling at the beginning of the bull run, really, you're getting you're not even in the car to go to the game or the concert. You're taking a shower and you got your clothes laid on the bed. That's how early. And you could say if you wanted to, we're still in a bear. The thing about it is, I definitely think we've bottomed out at 15K. So we're on the way back up. Now, I didn't anticipate a move back to 26. Technically, they did hit 25, but it was such a small amount of time at 25.3, and it's hit 25.9 a few times, maybe 25.7, and bounced up. So there seems to be enthusiasm to buy at 25. We'll see if that holds up. I'm not expecting a dramatic move for a while. I think we're going to be between 25 and 26, maybe a little bit above 26, maybe 26.5 for a while. The alt, it depends. I mean, you look at H bar, it still wants to run. So it really depends on the project and the fundamentals and the hype, because you can just tell right now some of these projects, when we do get in the full real bull run, like I would pay attention. If you guys have been not watching H bar, I'd be paying attention to H bar. You mentioned a lot of different ones. I did want to talk about one, and this account sometimes is not the most believable, but I checked and this is pretty accurate. So I want to talk about this.
But before we get to that, I just want to say, sometimes it takes a mindset shift when we're talking about Bitcoin, and especially when we're talking about these dips. Don't look at it as, oh my God, what's going on with this? Look at this as a time to fill up your bags, especially for regular guys like us. We don't have huge bank accounts where we can just throw money into crypto whenever. It's an opportunity for us to take the little bit of dry powder that we have and begin building bags that will be substantial by the time we get to the bull market, by the time we get to that halving event in April. And so it's really that mindset shift that you have to prepare yourself for. When these dips happen, you have to be aggressive in the dip instead of going, holy cow, what's going on? Because like I said, the fundamentals haven't changed. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Now, speaking of accumulation, if you really wanted to get into some hardcore manipulation theories, now some of this is true, so I do want to share this if you can. Mr. FOMO, put it up. Okay, here we go. An unknown entity has rapidly accumulated over $4 billion worth of Bitcoin the last 3 months, about to become the third biggest BTC address in the world. This is actually true. If you look up some of the wallet addresses, any guess as to who this may be? And I have my guess. It's not Michael Saylor. Okay. Talked about them a lot on the show. BlackRock. Okay.
I was going to say it has to be an institution that is filling their bags ahead of something larger, right? Or it could be a larger institution like, don't laugh at me for saying this, but like Bank of America buying up BTC finally in order to get themselves involved. And when you talk about coordination, I could see companies like BlackRock or Bank of America or, Chase or whatever. I could see them manipulating the market because they have the kind of funds that they could use to do it. But again, that's kind of a stretch, but I would see it as being a large institution. No. I doubt it's a single person.
I want to remind our viewers, we did not on Friday get the grayscale decision with the SEC. That could come at any day. In the fall, sometime in the fall, it's still August. Sometime in the fall, the grayscale decision comes and grayscale beats the SEC, and whoever this is announces who they are, whether it's BlackRock or somebody else, and then all of a sudden ETFs are allowed. I could see that being a huge springboard, and I could see within a day Bitcoin, not anytime soon, but over the next month or so, maybe not.
I'll tell you, I will say this.
It'll grab 30K, and I could see that candle going back up. I'm not expecting it to happen tomorrow, but just be aware that things could turn quickly this fall. I just want to say that.
And I would agree with that now. Because the bad news turned the market, I could see that kind of good news turning the market back.
Yeah, because a lot of the selling pressure is gone, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be tough to get it down to 20K. Some of you out there, our viewers, are waiting for 20K. I'm telling you, it's not that likely. Now, I'm going to talk about
until recently, and as far as I know, that miners are still selling the Bitcoin that they are being rewarded, and so even with the bad news last week and miners selling, we only got to 25. That's positive, because when we get to a point where miners aren't selling, especially post halving, that's when you're really going to see things start to ramp up. And so just know that we were at 30 because miners were dumping the Bitcoin that they were being rewarded by and large. And so that by itself is helping to hold the price down. But once those guys turn around, it's a whole new ballgame.
Now, I want to talk about the USDC story. Why does it matter? Let me tell you. At one point, Circle and Coinbase have strengthened the relationship with USDC. They were already together, but now they're more into it than ever before. Now, I can tell you why Coinbase is investing in USDC. It's the major stablecoin that's used on the platform. But let me give you some information that if you haven't been paying attention, you probably didn't realize. At one point, Coinbase was giving almost zero yield on USDC. Remember our old friend Voyager giving that 9%? I want to bring that up. Sorry. They moved it from almost nothing to 4%. Over the last month, they quietly moved it up to 4.6. I'm getting the sense that sometime before January into next year, definitely before the halving, you're going to see a dramatic increase in what Coinbase is offering for yield. Now, here's the reason why, and be careful of this because it's dangerous. They're going to want people to hold their USDC on the platform. It's going to be a revenue stream because they want to make USDC even more valuable. They wanted to make it the preeminent stable coin in crypto. And it's right now, you could argue, as of the most vetted and secure out of all of them. And so my prediction, Mr. FOMO, is you're going to see anywhere between a 6 to 9% yield on USDC in the next bull run with Coinbase. It's going to attract some people. It's going to be dangerous because a lot of people got burned, but it's going to attract some people to hold their USDC on Coinbase. And the idea is you have your USDC accumulating yield, and as the market heats up, you take that USDC and you turn it into other tokens. So it's a way for them to get more money onto the platform because you don't get yield on cash.
I could see them even going the Voyager route and offering you a debit card where you could spend your USDC like cash. And then, then it's the Voyager program minus the rewards, right?
Yeah.
But I could also see them doing that. Coinbase and Circle have had a relationship for a long time. Coinbase has been heavily involved in this. One of the reasons why people don't like Circle as much is because they have more centralized investors and centralized partners. But that being said, Circle, they're regulated. Or not regulated, but they have. And so they're the safest bet. And I could see this working more like your bank with a debit card. And hopefully that would include some sort of rewards on the back end for using it that way. But
that's the thing.
We have never seen Coinbase act the way Voyager has. And that's probably why they're still in business.
I don't think Coinbase is ever going to introduce a token because of security concerns. But the USDC is going to be, I think, used more and more to attract more people. And that's why I see more yield being given. Again, be very, very careful because if there's a bankruptcy, just learn in the Voyager situation and Celsius and FTX, you would not own that USDC. It's not cash. It's not USDC insured.
Well, and that's the great thing about Coinbase is before all these bankruptcies happened, Coinbase came out and was honest about it and said, hey, in the event of a bankruptcy, your crypto is not your crypto. You know what I mean? They were honest where these other guys like Steven Ehrlich were not. And so I will give it to Coinbase on that. But Coinbase is getting into some sketchy waters because they're also going to do futures soon. And we talked earlier about how that affects the market. And so
we're just going to have to see
to give that many more people access to the futures market without the knowledge. I think is dangerous.
I think we just got to
anticipate more volatility.
I think we just got to see how they set it up. But listen, Mr. FOMO is dropping a big time video on the Fear and Greed Index on when it might be the best time to buy Bitcoin. Look for that. More videos coming this week. Help us build this channel. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Please share the channel. We greatly appreciate it. For Mr. FOMO, AZcrypto, you guys have a great night. We'll see you later this week.
See you.